implementing textbooks and other sort of core course materials is something that requires work from many stakeholders, and we've talked about this a bit before, in terms of both onboarding, implementation. And so what sort of tips do you have for other institutions that might be looking at doing these things?
Yes, that's always an interesting one. I think the obvious one is always assume it will take longer than you'd hope it would. But I think for us, what's been really critical is getting academics on board. There is no point in doing these things if it's not going to be reflected in the teaching. That's kind of critical. So we've really got to make sure that you've got a good use case for why you've chosen something. And often that can be a little bit of a challenge with academics. Academics are sometimes very focused on a particular textbook or a particular approach. And if that approach isn't easily available electronically, or if it's a dear approach and your budget won't stretch that far, you've got some contention going on about what you do. And I think that's where you've really got to get the academic to understand the benefits that come from having widespread access. We've had occasional discussions with academics where they've kind of said, oh, I want to provide this in print because it's this copy and it's this version. But the benefits of providing a different version to all the students and not having them fight over it really could be very powerful in terms of changing student behaviour. One of the greatest things we've had as feedback from our academics when we have introduced e-textbooks with them is when they say, this really gives me a greater confidence about, I can see that students are able to engage with this material because they can all access it. So that buy-in at the beginning is really the critical thing, and just accepting that this is a slightly imperfect process, it's not a science. What publishers say they'll do and what they do might not always be the same thing, and just getting that kind of proper understanding of what's available and how it can be used is really critical.